triple, 4 times the money that they paid. And I just think it's a combination of those things. And again, I come back, I do believe that the Old Firm aren't as strong as they have been in the past, and that has opened the door. Still got to get through it, but I'm still very confident that Hearts will do this.
Do you think they might? Do you think it might be tonight?
Well, the sounds crazy, but the best team I've seen this season are Motherwell.
Mm.
Now, Hearts have been fantastic, and they're doing everything right with lots of different parts of the team. But Motherwell have been the most exciting team, that in my view, and I think a lot of people would agree with that. So, if Motherwell turn up tonight and full flight, then Celtic have struggled against them already this season, and it would be nice if Motherwell could do us a turn.
Well, we will be keeping an eye on that game at Fir Park. We're at Tynecastle as well. Craig, thank you very much. Enjoy tonight, if you can. Craig Levine with us on 5 Live Sport. We are 6.5 minutes away from kick-off. We're also at Ibrox for Rangers against Hibs. We're at the Etihad for Manchester City against Crystal Palace. And we are also at Edgeley Park because there's a big game there with Stockport and Stevenage in the League One playoffs. It is, Ali and Pat, isn't it? On the one hand, it's understandable that 40 years ago still keeps being brought up, but it is also astonishing that what happened 40 years ago is still being brought up as if it could affect what happens in 2026.
Well, it was a cultural touchstone at the time, because you ask anybody here in Scotland about that day that watched it on television or watched it later that night, they can tell you the faces. They remember the faces of the supporters for that night. Yeah. They actually, I can close my eyes and I can see them just now. So culturally, it was absolutely gigantic. I would make one wee change in it. Hearts have had other opportunities on the way, but have blown them completely. During the Lithuanian years, I think we have to call them, they had this brilliance. Well, they had a great time under George Burley, and then they got rid of George when he was top of the league and flying. And they have had other times where they've had opportunities, but for a variety of reasons, sometimes finance, sometimes bad organisation, sometimes bad luck, it just hasn't happened. So the one that we all talk about is that one, but Hearts fans have got a lot of pain. It's not just that pain, it's gone on a while.
But it's those kind of things, isn't it, Mark, as a football fan, that scars you if you remember it and you were there, and probably you do pass those scars on.
Ali, I still remember it. I still remember Hearts not winning that title in 1986 as a 12-year-old in Manchester.
Really?
Yes.
And just I didn't mean it that way. Just to give people the details on it. So that was in the days of 2 points for a win. Hearts led by 2 points going into the final day of the season. They only needed a draw, and they conceded 2 late goals at Dens Park. And I looked the guy up today. Albert Kidd is the name that will strike a dagger through the hearts of all Hearts fans. He scored the 2 goals. Celtic won 5-0 against St Mirren, and that was that, Pat.
Absolutely. I remember the Celtic game that day because it was that great moment where Celtic were 5-0 up down at Paisley St Mirren, and then the goals started going in, and you could see, I remember Pat Bonner was holding the ball and the Celtic fans erupted. Now that actually could happen tonight. This actually could happen here at Tynecastle tonight. If Celtic score at Motherwell, we'll hand over to that, won't we? But we'll know before.
No.
Because these fans will go mad here if Celtic lose a goal at Motherwell.
Let's go there. Let's go to Motherwell, find out how the atmosphere is building there. I thought the other night, Saturday night, the away end with all the Hearts fans in it looked absolutely magnificent. And it is the same tonight, Kenny, bedecked in green and white.
It is, and I'll assure Pat that I'll try my best and beat the roar at Tynecastle if Motherwell do score here against Celtic. And just an interesting development that's happening that I'm watching just now. I'm sitting in the Phil O'Donnell main stand. The late Phil O'Donnell, the former midfielder who used to play for Sheffield Wednesday, Motherwell and Celtic, and sadly died in 2007. But I'm peering through a gap in the south stand, which is the away end that houses 5,000 away fans, and the east stand, and there's definitely a blockage with Celtic fans trying to get in the stadium. They're starting to funnel in again now, but we're at 6 7:57 at the moment, and there's definitely huge queues still outside the away end, so we'll see if that has any effect on the kick-off time. We've not heard anything yet. But yeah, there's green and white banners, Mark. There's green and white scarves and tops, as you would expect, but also a lot of claret and amber banners and scarves. Pat will be pleased to hear, as well, as a former Motherwell winger and chief executive. This game just looks so good. It's a 13.5 capacity here at Fir Park, and you can hear them cheering just now, because that is the teams coming out. Viljami Sinisalo, the Celtic goalkeeper who's replaced Kasper Schmeichel these last few weeks, clapping towards that away end. Callum McGregor jumping up and down to get those leg muscles warmed up that little bit more. The referee is John Beaton tonight. He's always someone who's talked about in a lot of different ways. A lot of people like him, a lot of people don't, and Motherwell obviously wearing a kind of turquoisey strip this evening, or it's a kind of covered over their strip. It's maybe a special strip, but at the moment it's looking good, Mark.
Okay, Motherwell and Celtic are out, Manchester City and Palace are out. We will keep you up to date with that. Keep you up to date with Rangers and Hibs. Nothing on that. Rangers are going to finish third. We've also got that League One playoff tie at Edgeley Park as well, Stockport and Stevenage. But their teams are on their way at Tynecastle. This could be one of the greatest nights in Hearts history. It could be the night they win the title. It could also be the night that we end up going to a final day decider on Saturday, with Hearts going to Celtic. Whatever lies ahead, we are in for a fantastic couple of hours in the company of Pat Nevin and Alistair Breesbaugh.
Well, as you can hear, Tynecastle is already at fever pitch. Maroon and white flags being waved furiously from side to side. Scarves swirling. Giant Tifo banner away to the right above the heads of the fans in the Gorgie Road end. It says, we don't have players, we have heroes. We don't have a stadium, we have a fortress. We don't have fans, we have the heart and soul of Edinburgh. This is a dynasty that will live forever. We have some late evening sunshine in Edinburgh and history potentially on the line. Hearts last won the Scottish title, top flight title, back in 1960, and the last team, non-Old Firm team, to win the top flight title was Sir Alex Ferguson's Aberdeen back in 1985. Let's get the numbers out of the way. Let's enjoy the atmosphere. This is the Hearts song. This is led by Colin Chisholm out on the pitch, and surely this can only inspire the Hearts players. A win for them tonight.
To Arsenal on Monday, they could win the title up against a Crystal Palace side who are winless in 4. Manchester City, of course, have the FA Cup final on Saturday, so a bit of an interesting selection with 6 changes for Pep Guardiola. Absentees of Doku, Cherki and Haaland are the main ones, really. We've just seen Manchester City kicking from left to right in the first half in their light blue top and socks white shorts. And from right to left, who've got the game underway, Crystal Palace in their golden neck to toe. From right to left, they've just on the ball and they're going to go all the way back to Dean Henderson, the captain. I'll run you through the teams. Donnarumma in goal, Kusanov, Guehi, Guardiola and Nuri at the back 4. Captain Bernardo Silva, Mateus Nunes and Phil Foden in the middle. Antoine Semenyo and Savinho take up the wide positions, and up top is Omar Marmoush, who comes in for Premier League top scorer Erling Haaland. And Crystal Palace 4 changes from the 2-2 draw with Everton on Sunday. Warden, Kamada, Sarr and Strand Larsen make way. Hughes, Lerma, Pino and Mateta come in. So it's captain Dean Henderson in goal. Canvo, Lacroix and Richards at the back 3. Wing backs of Tyreek Mitchell and Munoz. Will Hughes and Jefferson Lerma in the engine room. That's a complete overhaul from Sunday. Brennan Johnson and Jeremy Pino in the wide position, of course, up top. The big Frenchman, Jean-Philippe Mateta. Man City just on the ball on the far side with Mark Guehi, who moves it inside. And down the line it goes, intercepted by Munoz. And then Will Hughes. It's myself, Nate Foster, alongside me is Kieran Graham as we take you through this game. It's Jeremy Pino on the left flank at the minute, just takes up the ball. He's going to go over the top early. Manchester City is sleeping. It's Crystal Palace coming through all the way through to Jean-Philippe Mateta. Oh, what a save on the line by Donnarumma. Is that going to go in? Minute and 30 into the game. They're looking at the referee. What's he given?
He's given offside.
He's given offside. He's given offside. It's Stuart Atwell. There was a hesitant. Well, we've already talked about VAR. They look like it may just be a stride over. Like I say, it's myself, Nathan Marcel, Kieran Graham. We've already got controversy in this game. Let's have a look. Yeah, I think that's the correct call. I think You'd probably agree, a bit of stride offside.
Yeah, it's close, isn't it? I tell you what, does it even cross the line in the end? We've seen it back. It's so close to see if it even did. I tell you what, Donnarumma does brilliant to recover it and almost make the save. In a case if he does make the save, but did it cross the line anyway? Yes, Brennan Johnson just offside in the end. But I tell you what, early warning signs for Man City. Bit of a bogey team, aren't they, for Man City? Crystal Palace, they enjoy it a couple of times at the Etihad, don't they? City have that with a few signs. Usually, up until last weekend, you'd say that Brentford sometimes caused them a few problems as well. A few eyebrows raised in the lineups, weren't they? Some real key players as of late on the bench tonight, the likes of Haaland and Doku, etc. It's a huge game for the likes of Marmoush and Savinho today, even Phil Foden. It's a weird time, isn't it, to be making changes like that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. We were talking about before the game, weren't we? It's a real strange one to be rolling the dice like this. Of course, they've got a final on Saturday, but going for the Premier League title, just getting the ball away, put it into touch. Palace have a throw in. Well, there you go. That's an early scare. 1 minute 31 on the clock when Palace put the ball in the net. Well, I'd say in the net. Donnarumma saved it, but it did go in. But just a stride offside was Brennan Johnson, and probably didn't need to be, the Welshman. 16 appearances, 0 goals, and only the 1 assist to his name. Brennan Johnson could have been 2 there, as the ball's going to be thrown down the line near side. Phil Foden on the ball, pocket picked, but zipped all the way back to Donnarumma, who sits on the ball. Well, since losing their opening home game, Man City at the Etihad to Spurs, they're unbeaten in all the rest 16 at the Etihad, and they've opened the scoring in all 16 of them, which tells you everything. As it stands, that still stands as of right now, because they can still score first, because Crystal Palace goal ruled out very early on, but absolutely stellar at home, has to be said. But work to be done this evening. That was an early scare as Palace move it down the left flank with Guardiola, and City keeping on the ball like they like to do, sort of tiring teams out. Was sitting on it. Mark Gahey, against his former side, used to be club captain, of course, the number 15. He moves it to Kusanov, and we had it out on the right hand side at right back position, but they just filtered in with Mateus Nunes at right back. We'll have to see how that sort of shapes up. Ball's going to be floated to the near side for City. Savinho, stellar first touch, looking for Semenyo, just slightly past him. Tyreek Mitchell will keep it in on the near side, and he's won himself a throw, and I think now it's been given the way of Manchester City. It was an early flutter for Palace, but City definitely grown back into it.
Yeah, they have. They just want to hold the ball. They need a lot of the ball in this game to Man City. But Crystal Palace, they know how big this game is for City, so they'll try play onto that fact. They'll try and force mistakes, force nervy moments as well, which they know they're good enough to do. Of course, they've got a final themselves to look forward to, Crystal Palace being in the Conference League final. And I tell you what, if it ever gets to a point where City are struggling to break down Crystal Palace, like we mentioned, they are not short of options on the bench. We've seen an image of the likes of Haaland, Cherki and Doku, some of, if not the best attacking players in the world.
Yeah, that's some bench that. And Doku, of course, involved in 7 goals in 6 appearances. He's really come of age in the latter stages of this season, as it's moved inside from Ait-Nouri, the former Wolves man. It's City on the ball, bang in the centre of the Palace half. Mateus Nunes thought about pulling the trigger. He's going to go 1-2 to the byline, right hand side. Ball in, ricocheted off 3 people. It may have already gone out before hitting Nunes. Off Cambo, the Frenchman. I think we're going to get a first corner of the game. They're asking for handball. I don't think they're going to get that one. It was an arm down by the side. Let's have another look at it. It has hit the arm. It's one of them, isn't it? It's a very grey area sort of thing.
Yeah, he's so close. He's in such close proximity as well, isn't he, JD Cambo? So I'm not too sure I would be giving a penalty for that. And I believe the corner kick is going to be allowed to be taken.
I'd agree with that. Stuart Atwell and VAR are already working overtime. Of course, we have our controversy in the VAR room on Sunday with the Arsenal-West Ham game. Of course, Spurs themselves on Monday night thought they should have got a penalty. Phil Foden in swinging first corner of the game. Into the box it goes. Good defensive header over to the other side of the box. They still haven't cleared their lines here, actually, Palace. Moving it backwards. Cleared it to Silva, left-hand side of the box. In it goes. Richards under it, the American. And need to clear their lines now. Mateta back there for his team. That's a good ball. Maybe a chance for a counter-attack here. If Tyreek Mitchell can spread his legs over halfway, he goes. He needs a bit more support, though. Not a lot of movement in front of him. Goes to the near side to Munoz. Move from right to left. And they're going to go back to halfway and just keep hold of it at the back. Cambo across. Lacroix, he's got that long ball in his arse. He's going to go for Mitchell over the top. It's a bit too much on it, but he may just keep this in. Mitchell looks like he has gone out, and the referee has given a goal kick in the end. But there's signs there for me for Palace that they're not here just to be walked over. They're really trying to take this to City.
Yeah. Exactly, and they'll be looking to get on the counter-attack, won't they, Crystal Palace? They're a good counter-attack inside, and of course Oliver Glasner did lead Crystal Palace to that FA Cup final victory over Man City last season, so he's got his good history up against his opposition boss, Pep Guardiola. But yet, those balls in behind are going to be so important to these players like the wing-backs, like Brennan Johnson, and you've just got to feed Mateta, haven't you? And we've already seen the damage they can cause on the attack.
City going to try come back on Aït-Nouri. That's a good run down left-hand side, trying to take 2 on. He's got himself a corner, took on 1, couldn't get past Richard, trying to put it through his legs. 7.5 on the clock, an official independent off-tube studio commentary. Manchester City 0, Crystal Palace 0. It needs to be 3 points for City, otherwise it's all looking to Arsenal on Monday at home to Burnley to win the Premier League title for the first time in over 20 years since they went invincible in the 03-04 season. And it looks like it will be a corner from the far side. An outswinger it looks to be with the left foot. And it comes now, dipping violently. Semenyo trying to get up there, but Lacroix beats him to it. It's a good defensive header by that man. And move to the near side. City are back on the ball already. Savinho, right-hand flank, trying to drive past his man. Good footing by Jeff Salermo. He'll keep working for his team, but it's another City corner, consecutive 3 in a row. They've gone short quickly. Foden goes to the edge of the box to Núñez, and then back to the original corner kick taker in Savinho. He's going to try to take on his man and does slip with the cross. Everyone back for Palace sitting in very deep, and now they're going to look for that counter. The outball's not great from Brennan Johnson, looking for Will Hughes, and City already back on it. You don't want to feel like that Palace goal was maybe just that massive missed opportunity, and now they're going to sit on the back foot for a long time. Aït-Nouri down the left flank, another Man City corner, is it? They are appealing for it, but the Welshman Brennan Johnson's put it out. It's relentless.
Yeah, it is, and we've seen a lot of Ryan Aït-Nouri in this opening 9 minutes. We know he's a fullback that loves to get forward, and he's trying to take his man on Munoz every single time. He's getting quite a bit of success with it as well. Matt Gahey has just taken that corner for Manchester City. That was random.
Yeah, feeling it against his former side. Second most conceded from set pieces, Palace, so they need to be organised here. Footing goes in from Munoz. It'll be an Aït-Nouri throw in far side, about in line with the edge of the Palace box. They go a few yards backwards to Gahey. And keep ball for Palace. No other games going on in England this evening apart from Stockport Stevenage in the League One playoff semi-final second leg. Of course, Stockport won the first leg away at Stevenage with that freak goal. But we'll keep you updated on the goals going. There's the SPL games going, and of course all eyes on Hearts and Celtic. Hearts Falkirk 0-0, Motherwell Celtic 0-0, and Rangers are 1 goal down at Ibrox to Hibs very early in that. So me and Kieran will try our best to keep you updated with other goals, but hopefully plenty of goals at the Etihad this evening, with Kusanov moving it to Núñez, who doesn't like playing right back this evening. We had it down as playing in the holding midfield position. And Savinho trying to take on his man Jeff Salermo, relentless in his pursuit. He's won the ball. It's come off Semenyo. It'll be a throw-in right in the corner on the near side for Crystal Palace. But yeah, I don't want to feel like Palace, now they've missed the opportunity of scoring. I don't want to say they missed it, because they did score it. Brennan Johnson just... Is it me being critical, saying that he shouldn't have really been offside? But you don't want to feel like now that hasn't counted, it may be a massive missed opportunity for him.
Yeah, big missed opportunity in that sense. And yeah, it's hard. Brennan Johnson, I can't say, he's big Eastern fans. I think he can be quite clumsy with situations like that, and that's kind of proved it early doors in this one. But like we said, Palace have so much quality in their side that they really can just keep hurting Man City on the counter-attack if they need to. I was turning it into that, but yeah, Man City, as expected, seeing a lot of the ball, creating half chances in and around the penalty area, but they just haven't created that big chance yet.
Well, you know they're going to have all the possession. That's one thing we do now, especially at home, even away. They usually in every game have the most possession. That's the way they play. It's just about what they do with it, and for Palace it's not going to be a lot of the ball, but be useful with it really, and they're going to try that now. Mateta around the corner, that's a great flick down the line goes Brennan Johnson down that left flank, and they get bodies in the box. Ball in with the left foot, it's not a bad one, shot comes in, it's going to go wide, it's going to go out for a goal kick. He was on a bit of a stretch, I believe it Yeremy Pino, the man that used playing La Liga. I think they're asking for a corner, I don't think they're getting it. He was on the stretch, I believe he slipped as well. He went, I wouldn't say it was close, But it's brilliant build-up play, not a bad ball from Johnson.
Yeah, I wondered whether Johnson missed the chance to really go and find Munoz on the far right-hand side, but it was on his left foot, so he took his time. It's a clear as day deflection. I think they may have got the corner in the end. Yeah, I think they did. There was a lot of complaining to a point where it was actually just obvious that a touch was taken. But yeah, decent ball in the end from Johnson. The cut back to Yeremy Pino, who took it off balance as well, hence why he never really generated too much power on it. But that's the counter-attack threat that I alluded to for Crystal Palace, because they've got that pace in behind.
Yeah, and it was going in, an important block, but yeah, Munoz was free on the back post. First corner for Palace as Will Hughes puts it in. Chris Richards with the header. Is that going to be another corner? It's going to be a goal kick. Was it an obvious touch off maybe a shoulder of Chris Richards? It looked like it took some sort of nick. It wasn't a telling touch. You feel like 5 yards out, he gets a good touch. It's 1-0.
Yeah, exactly, and it's a good chance for Richards, and maybe it should have been another corner. Maybe it grazed off the head of Matt Gahey. They didn't get that one. But yeah, positive moments. This is why you can't really count Crystal Palace out. Especially when it's 0-0, because they've got such a threat, whether it's from set pieces or there's counter-attacking transition. So yeah, positive signs for a Glasner side.
Yeah, for the 30 minutes we've seen, for the most of the ball possession City have, Palace have done more with it and getting close to goal in the 2 or 3 attacks they've had. There's City back on it in the centre circle of their own half with Kusanov and Nunes. Standstill on the right hand side of the centre circle. No Palace players really closing down as he comes from left to right in the first. 13 on the clock, still remains 0-0. If you're late to the party, Palace did put the ball in the net, but it was ruled out for Brennan Johnson offside, a stride or so off. He was looking across the defensive line as well, so you do argue that he probably shouldn't have been. As Kusanov floats it to the far side, Munoz with a strong header up against Guardiola. Guardiola wins it. Ain't Nuri, he's been a busy man out there far side. Back to Gahey. May just fancy getting on the score sheet against his former side, where he sort of learnt his trade and made his name. As he moves it across, going to put a ball in now, floats it to the near side for Savinho. How's your touch? Traps it with the boots and the studs. It's a brilliant first touch. Flicks it back to Nunes, with the keeping hold of the ball. Standing them up well, sitting in deep, Palace, very deep. They're almost on the edge of their own box. Mateta was obviously their striker this evening. Floats to the far side, Munoz with the touch, and the head will be a Man City throw-in far side. About 20 yards from the corner flag on that far side. Hint of a foul throw there from Guardiola, but play will continue. Yeah, a lot of possession for Man City. Not getting close enough to goal just yet. They haven't created any form of chance, unable to break through this Palace unit so far. They're going right to left and left to right and just trying to cause some sort of opening. So far not so good. Ain't Nuri down the line, put a ball in, hit the first man, and Richards out to the edge of the box. Gahey's going to go for goal. It's wayward, it's slashed. May have gone out for a throw, and he sees the funny side of it. I'm not sure the Man City fans will.
Yeah, he'd love to score against his former club, of course, signed from Crystal Palace this season. The former Crystal Palace club captain, of course, as well. I think that's why he smiles, because he's right in front of those Palace fans. You can only imagine that they loved seeing that as well. They'll have seen the funny side a little bit like what Matt Gahey did.
Yeah, well, it's you just see we're just seeing the average position for Palace. Every average position's in their own half for them, so they're sitting in and playing on the counter. You're absolutely right, Kieran. You said that earlier. That's exactly what they're set up to do this evening, and almost pulled it off on a couple of occasions. Quarter of an hour into this one, but City back on the ball. Bernardo Silva, the captain for this evening, over to Gahey, far side into the Palace half they go with Guardiola. Will Hughes stepping out, trying to cause a rocks. I mean, he hits the deck very, very easily there, Mark Gay. I think he's got the free kick, but it doesn't take much in this day and age to win yourself a free kick. It's going to be played short and early, and just moving it down and trying to break through now with Phil Foden. He stabs it forward. That's a loose pass. Trying to find Semenyo, who's, of course, the danger man, the former Bournemouth man. He's not been in the game really just yet. Waiting for him to grow into it. Gahey centrally in the Palace half. I think City just trying to sucker some Palace players out of that structure and just trying to make a gap in behind. So far not so good for them. They've got players on the far side if they can use them, and they will. Ain't Nuri right on that touchline as he kisses the white paint out on that far side. Inside to Gahey. Keep ball for City at the minute. No goals elsewhere as it stands. And moving it down the right hand side, Savinho on a counter, pulls it back, it's straight into the feet of Will Hughes in the box. That was not a bad ball in, just couldn't find his man. And shot comes in, it's wayward. It's going to be a goal kick. Kusanov as the rain begins to come down in Manchester. It's 2 shots apiece, no shots on target, and 83% possession so far for Man City. I mean, stats sometimes don't tell the story, but I think that's exactly what we've seen so far.
Yeah, it probably is. Pretty even game in terms of big moments. Kusanov just saw his Vincent Kompany moment, didn't he, from distance. He's absolutely rifled it. The rain's starting to come down at the Etihad as well, which is going to make it wet conditions, which means more mistakes, which means more chances and more drama, hopefully, in this one. You can't underestimate how big this game is for the Premier League season. I mean, Arsenal fans watching on will look at this game just tonight as almost as important as their remaining 2 games themselves. I guess City drop points tonight. It's essentially Arsenal's title, isn't it? Because, I mean, if we live in a world where Arsenal somehow don't beat Burnley at home with 2 games to go to win the title, then maybe Arsenal wouldn't deserve it.
Yeah, I have to agree. We've had a couple of goals, a Stockport goal to make it 2-0 on aggregate, and may just put them 1 foot into the Championship. Louis Barry, the Aston Villa loanee, may have just sent them to Wembley. And we'll get this, another goal in the SPL. Motherwell 1, Celtic 0. Hearts fans will be very happy to hear that, and jubilation in the Old Firm and the lunchtime kickoff on Sunday. Well, Celtic are 1 goal down. They've got it all to do. Hearts and Falkirk still 0-0, and still 0-0 at the Etihad as it stands. Man City move it to the near side. 18 on the clock. 0-0. Savinho, bright spark down that right flank, has to check it backwards to Nunes. Inside Silva. What a first touch that is. Shot comes in, blocked at source by Will Hughes, closing it down very smartly. 180 swivel with the trap for Bernardo Silva, and all the way back it goes to the keeper. Well, no team has won more games away from home apart from Manchester City and Arsenal and Crystal Palace. So they're a team on the road that can get the job done this season, but a man playing up top that hasn't scored in 17 away games in Jean-Philippe Mateta. So a team that like to get it done away from home with their prolific striker that doesn't like scoring on the road.
Yeah, exactly, and it's been a weird season, hasn't it, for Jean-Philippe Mateta. Scored off the bench at the weekend in a game that I covered against Everton, but of course was meant to leave in January. That's why they signed Strand Larsen, so he's had to cope with Mateta and Strand Larsen. You think the Norwegian 26-year-old will be their main man from next season. I'd be surprised if maybe he doesn't start in the cup final, but we see City on the attack.
As Nate Nuri comes forward, shot comes in, side netting. It was his weaker right, and the pass was stabbed down him. He had to cushion it with the midriff, and it was on the half volley. I think composure just let him down at the vital moment. It almost the technique looked like he had to snatch at it inside the box, say about 7 yards out. The angle's against him, but yeah, lost composure and weaker foot. I think just let him down. Yeah,
it was. It's a good chance as well for Aït-Nouri. It really is. He goes with laces rather than letting the ball settle and open it up and looking towards the far corner, which, I mean, a more natural goal scorer or attacking player would certainly do. But we now see Palace back in possession. Lacroix takes a risk. That's got to be a foul against Aït-Nouri. It looked like he was just too physical initially, but then he dragged his man down, and Lacroix gets away with one.
He definitely did get away with it. Why is he taking a chance there? It's absolutely beyond me. It's but he's been pulled down yet. Maxence Lacroix, probably I think Palace's best player this season. A few stints of last season, he's been absolutely brilliant. Former Wolfsburg centre half. Moved to the far side to Will Hughes, trying to put it down the line. Off a City man, it will be a throw-in. Bit of respite for Palace. Halfway inside their own half on the far side. They have themselves a throw-in, which they'll just take their time in taking. Yeah, the rain is really coming down now. Good strong challenge from Will Hughes. Going to put a ball down the line, Munoz. It could be a Palace throw-in once again. Yeah, the rain has really started to bounce in. Pep Guardiola put his hood up. It's really starting to come down. We saw rain earlier today. Thought it may just let off for this evening, but that'll play a factor. Somehow Man City have a throw. They put the screen on Pep Guardiola for about 20 seconds, and all of a sudden City have a throw in exactly where Palace had one. So City begin to come forward once again, and Palace just sit in once again. They had that flurry, waiting to pounce, of course, but sitting in very defensively. So far, I talk about the possession stats for City, 80%. We've seen 7 shots, 5 of them for City, and none of them on target so far for either side. So not very clinical. Ball down the line, look for Semenyo, too much on it, too much love and purchase. And that will be a goal kick in the end. It's a little bit early, but I think it's a good time to pass over to you, okay?
Yeah, thank you very much, Nathan. As we just see that pass going behind again, and yeah, that wet surface definitely didn't help that situation. The ball just skids out of players. We now see Mitchell wins the header, finds Daichi Kamada, and that ricochets out of play for a throw-in. Only 21.5 minutes on the clock in this one. Manchester City 0, Crystal Palace 0. Palace almost had the ball in the back of the net. Still, we can't really confirm whether the ball crossed the line or not from the replay that we got shown. Didn't matter anyway because of an offside in the build-up. As you now see Kuznov ready to set this throw, and he leaves it to Nunes. 5 shots for Man City so far. Still yet to test Dean Henderson, which will be something that frustrates Pep Guardiola. 22 minutes into this one. Savinho plays it into the middle. Not seen anything of Semenyo so far, have we, in this game? Cambo takes a risk, then it's a sharp turn away from Savinho from the Frenchman. Balling behind towards Mateta, who could be onside. Flag goes up straight away. And when a flag goes up straight away these days, that means he should be quite clearly off.
Yeah, I mean, they usually wait, don't they? Especially if he's in attacking position, but this time he goes straight up, which I agree that what they should do. But good ball down the line. There was a ball on inside, but he saw something I didn't. It was a good ball, but he just astride. It shows how much Man City love playing with that high line. Already been caught on a couple of occasions. Palace straying off, but there's definitely an out ball there. If they remain patient with it, but it's all about match fitness and fatigue. A latter stages of the season, you're getting ran ragged at home away at the Etihad. You know, it'll be heavy legs at some point, but if you just remain patient, it may just be that one long ball to make the difference.
Yeah, Savinho's been pretty poor in this opening 23 minutes as well. He's just sprayed a really poor forward ball to go straight out of play for a goal kick. Hasn't really got his City career going, has he, Savinho? He's a player that I think I'd be quite shocked if he's still with City next season or for much longer. He plays a little bit here and then. I would say he never really impresses when I see him. Right there with another foul. This time it's on Will Hughes. He's had a few of them, hasn't he, already? Has the Algerian. He's been really involved.
Yeah, he's getting himself around. Just involved in the gritty, but some of the footy going forward is very good with his feet. Moves it down that left-hand side. He's got a good end product on him, minus that scuff shot, of course. But he's been the busiest lad out there. I'd love to see a touch count because I won't be surprised if he's in the top 3. That's for sure.
There's now see Camvo. He goes forwards into Lerman. Now it's going to be back for Lacroix. He's going to take a risk again, trying to take on Marmouche. He finds the pass for Richards, who instead of playing it down the line, he's just going to hoof it up towards Brennan Johnson. The clearance is only as far as Richards again. Turns away from his man, plays a pretty simple ball all the way back to Dean Henderson. And Crystal Palace now happy to just have a bit of the ball. Dean Henderson taking his time in the penalty with absolutely nobody pressing. I ain't never thought about applying it. And Dean Henderson, once again, happy to just put his studs on the ball. He's going to take his time right there. He's going to be the one who presses him in the end. And then they just lob it over to the right. It's not great from Henderson in the end. And they just gift it back to Man City. It's poor from Crystal Palace. We now see Vardiol, pretty advanced, is the centre half. He's basically playing in midfield, isn't he? So far, as we now see Vardiol. Nunes on the right hand side. Savinho back to Nunes. The pass through Savinho was on, but he never really looked. Looks for the back heel instead towards Savinho. Cambo gets in. He's up against the Brazilian. His clearance can only go out of play for a throw. Manchester City trying to keep it quick, just not creating anything properly so far. I can't imagine it'd be too long till we see the big dogs in the second half. That's good footwork from Foden, but a good challenge in from Mitchell.
Yeah, I don't think they're grown in frustration just yet. I don't think they ever will. It's just relentless for City, but you know they're keeping them at bay, Palace. That's for sure. It's 25 minutes on the clock, and you've got a long way to go for doing this. And when them tired legs come in, so do the tired minds, and then mistakes happen, gaps open up. That's what Man City love to do. And like you say, the artillery on the bench they have as well, City. It's good so far for Palace, but can they carry this on until 90 plus minutes? It's hard to do that, very hard.
Yeah, it will be very tricky, especially when you get into the second half and players like Doku and Cherky and Haaland are getting subbed on. As you see, Richards turns away from Aitner, who's basically as advanced. Aitner is basically the left winger, isn't he? Vardiol's the left back, and Vardiol just inverts quite a bit, and Aitner is almost told, right, you go up and down. You own that whole left-hand side, really. And Aitner is definitely, when they're flat out of possession, stood at left wing. He's applying pressure on the right centre-half. So Pep Guardiola clearly sees a more attacking game out of Aitner in this one. And as you see a ball towards Munoz, it's Vardiol and Aitner applying the press. Ball over the top finds Mateta. He looks for a headed flick on, and Kusanov just gets there. And those are the type of ones you have to be 100% in these conditions. All it takes is that little slip on the turn when you're desperate to get back, and a Palace player could have been in on goal, but here comes City on the counter. It's going to be Vardiol. Crystal Palace sat pretty deep. The Croatian goes across towards Kusanov. Now it's going to be Nunes. Ball to the right hand side, and it's Savinho up against just Tyreek Mitchell. Cuts onto his left boot. Still going is Savinho. Onto his left again. Plays it across to the former Palace skipper, Matt Gate. It's just sat so compact at the moment at Crystal Palace. That's a poor challenge in from Mike Nera, who, by the way, has had about 3 or 4 fouls already in this one. He's going to get away with it, I think. Or has he been booked? It's a late challenge on Brennan Johnson, but surely he's only got so many more before he gets a yellow.
Yeah, that was a naughty one. It was late. The ball was there, but he's gone in with the left toe, side of Brennan Johnson's foot, and then gone in with the knee as well. Bit of a nasty one. Brennan Johnson getting back to his feet. I'd be very surprised if he's got away with that. Be very, very lenient there, Stuart Atwell, if he hasn't brought out the card, and honestly, I don't think he has. But you got to be saying he's walking a tightrope now. He's got to be. That yellow card's got to be coming eventually. He was away as well. I wouldn't say away, but leading an attack. So yeah, it was a naughty one, and he has got away with it. Confirmed free kick's already taken, no card. So yeah, next one.
No card is a big surprise. In that one for Aitneri. Long ball up towards Gay. He brings it down. Nice touch from him to find Phil Foden, who's been pretty quiet in the decisive areas, hasn't he? It's a lot of safe passing. It feels from Phil Foden so far. He's got to start creating chances. Semenyo so quiet. Marmouche, I don't think has touched the ball in about 15 minutes or so, has he? As we now see Kusanov out towards Nunes. These attacking players got to get involved for Man City and start to take a gamble, really, in creating chances, trying to unlock this Palace structured setup. As you now see Gehi turns onto his right again to find Vardiol. He had a run from Foden that he ignored. Back towards Matt Gehi. Vardiol once more. Picks it up. In towards Matt Gehi once again. He's under a bit of pressure from Hughes. Gehi wants something. Plays it to the right hand side. Bernardo Silva. But once again, the movement is just so flat. Going forwards for Man City. That's a poor touch from Marmouche, but they win it back because of Chris Richards' clearance. We now see Bernardo Silva again. Crystal Palace just soaking it up so far. Nunes turns away from Mitchell. He's going on his own. He's taken down, it felt, by Yeremy Pino. Doesn't get it. Bernardo Silva then slides in, and that's going to go for a throw, much to the confusion of Savinho. And Yeremy Pino and Savinho just having a go at each other there. A bit of verbals between each other. Savinho gives him a bit of a slap on the back as well, and the throw in, should I say, went the way of Man City. But yeah, those two maybe one to keep an eye out on. Not too happy with each other in that challenge. As I see Kusanov out to Mark Gay, who finds Aitneri. Mark Gay plays it once again to the right hand side for Phil Foden, who's got to start creating chances. He spreads it to the right hand side for Savinho, who's up 1v1 against Mitchell. Lays it off for Nunes again, who's going to drive forward. Switches play to the left with almost a short ball for Aitneri. He just about gets there. It's very flat at the moment, this game. Really, since Nathan passed over to me in that sense. As we now see Savinho, he looks for a switch ball once again in behind. It's never on. And the forward-thinking players for Man City have been very average so far.
Yeah, it's not one of them games I'm looking at here where I'm thinking Man City have to win this game. They need 3 points to be in shout of the title. It doesn't speak like that for me. If you're just going to put this game right in front of me, maybe it's speaking of 6 changes. You know, you change half your team from the weekend, which of course you've got a final on Saturday. You've got a lot of games. It's a long season. I understand that, but you know, it's almost like he's deciding, right, the FA Cup's more important at this point, and it is very flat, and they don't look very creative. And I think like the reason that the likes of Phil Foden are struggling is because the gap between the midfield and the defence is so small, because Palace are starting so deep, but they're doing it very well. And we're just watching Man City go from side to side, and when they do get a shot off, it's nothing convincing, and there's no real big chances just yet. Ball goes forward, looking for Semenyo. That's an unbelievable touch.
Yeah, here is Semenyo on the edge of the penalty area. It's a good touch, but it forced him a little bit wider, which meant they couldn't create the chance. Matt Gay whips it in, easily headed away by Jefferson Lerma. Hearts are now winning against Falkirk, so what a chance it is for them tonight. Can they win the title tonight? If they win and Celtic lose, I believe they win it all at home as well, so what a party that'd be. As the Semenyo in on goal! What a finish that is Back heel from Foden, in behind for Semenyo, who's been so quiet, and finally they get that breakthrough, and Phil Foden has his moment, Semenyo has his moment. It feels like it's the first time those two have really got involved, and Man City take the lead against Palace 1-0.
Well, first real big chance of the game for Manchester City, and they've got the goal. It's brilliant as well. We said they lacked creativity. Well, how's that for creativity? Phil Foden back heel, and Semenyo with the right foot cutting across it. It's a brilliant finish. It really is. And we'll have another look at it. It's brilliant from Phil Foden as well, isn't it? The former Bournemouth man, Antoine Semenyo, has been absolutely fantastic since coming to Manchester City. 6th goal in the league this season for him. Let's have another look. Oh, what a back heel that is. And then sweeping it with the right foot into the bottom left-hand corner. Well, now there's a change of tactic for Palace. What was your plan B if you were going to go behind? Because they were doing well so far, but after half an hour you're 1-0 down. You can't play the way you've been playing, or you're going to lose this game. They need to come out and put up a bit of fight, especially if they're already 1-0 down with the Man City's best players still on the bench. So bit of work to be done for Palace now, but what a brilliant goal that is.
It's a great goal, isn't it? We just needed that bit of brilliance from Phil Foden in this game. He's just giving it away to Jean-Philippe Mateta, and here they come on the attack. Mitchell with a chance himself. Big save from Donnarumma at his near post. Tips it behind for a corner. What a straight away impact and response from Crystal Palace that would have been. Mateta with the ball to the left. Mitchell with a first time strike. And Donnarumma produces a big save.
Yeah, they need to stay clued on here. Palace coming out. Well, that may just answer the question I was posing out. That do they have it in to come out? And, well, it looks like they are. They're coming right back on the attack. When they come forward, they look really dangerous. So this game's far from over.
Yeah, you can see this corner ready to be whipped in now from Yeremy Pino, but it's straight into the hands of Donnarumma, who brings it down. He wants to bowl it out pretty quickly. He lays it off for Bernardo Silva, who finds Phil Foden on the attack. He's taken down by Will Hughes. Is that going to be a yellow card? He might just about get away with it. He definitely stops a counter-attack though, so I'm not too sure how he does. We could have seen a couple of yellows in this one.
Well, he's consistent, sure. Well, he's just consistently wrong. That's the problem. He should have given out a card apiece. As it stands, 36 apiece. Only one goal in the goal difference as well. Arsenal 42, Man City 41. So even a draw, a point might just do it for Arsenal eventually. But of course, Arsenal want to get all 3 points, get the job done. They got Burnley on Monday, like we said as well. Man City won't play at the weekend as they're in the final as well. So on 77, getting the job done so far, Man City. But they need to stay alive and clued on, because when Palace do come forward, they've caused some problems.
Yes, you now see Lerma in possession. He's going to find Will Hughes, and it's Crystal Palace on the attack. Will Hughes, nice little turn away from Bernardo Silva, and then his passes behind Munoz. He looked offside as well. He just held on to it for way too long, didn't he? In the end, did Will Hughes. And then it was Trevella pass that was a pull.
I think what the problem was, he was aiming for Brennan Johnson, who was just jogging offside again. It was rinse and repeat of what we saw for the goal early on. That's a massive waste, because you get in that position, get your runs right, cause some issues at the back. Just got it wrong again, and like you say, Daniel Munoz has got that all wrong as well by keeping hold of it. Looks like Hearts have doubled their lead at home to Falkirk, so Kieran rightly said, if it stays like this, Hearts will lift the title. First time since 1985 someone other than Rangers and Celtic could win the SPL. And also, just to know, Carl Wooten has doubled Stockport's lead. Striker comes centre-half. He is playing centre-half tonight. So it's Stockport 2, Stevenage 0, 3-0 aggregate. And it looks like it's either Bolton or Bradford in the final, but it looks more like Bolton after that 1-0 lead from the first leg.
Yeah, you now see Savinho. He's on the right-hand side. They can be more patient now. Manchester City, it felt like they've been very patient actually in this game. They only created the one proper chance and it's just been dispatched, but they really don't have to force things now, do they? Having that lead is the most important thing. Matt Gahey just completely wiped out by Brennan Johnson. A tackle out of frustration, it felt.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of them. It hasn't gone right for Brennan Johnson so far. He's been quite poor actually, the former Spurs man. And he said 1 assist in 16 games and he hasn't scored for Palace yet. His end product's not been good enough for the Welshman, unfortunately. That's a good spin from Mateta. Surely a foul. It is. They start to tot up. It's Gahey in the back of Mateta on a good 180 spin. Have themselves a free kick. Interesting what Palace do here. Just right hand side of the centre circle, a few yards inside their own half. Interesting to see if they go long or they're just going to play it short and work from the back. I'd probably say they're going to go short, but for me in that position, yeah, they've gone short. For me, I'd be loading the box and trying to get the big lads in there, because you don't know which way it'll fall, especially in the rainy conditions.
Yeah, exactly. And the conditions are going to play such a big part in this game. As you now see Chris Richards. He's going to look to go through the middle. He gives it straight to Man City, though, who are on the attack, and it's going to be Savinho. He's got Mamouche to the right. He finds Omar Mamouche, who cuts inside, takes a terrible touch. In the end, his first touch was good, and then he just couldn't set himself to get the shot off. It's a big recovering challenge from Lacroix, and it's cleared out for a corner kick, but what a chance for City.
Massive. You've seen advertisements, some really poor football there. I don't know why Palace keep going back to making them risks at centre-half, right in the middle of the pitch. You lose it there, and then City are practically in. Done it again. There's only so many times they'll get away with that. And he has done there because Marmouche, like you say, his touch inside was not good enough, unfortunately. But Man City have themselves a corner.
Yeah, as you see this ready to be whipped in by Foden. Hangs it up towards the back post. Vardiol wins his header. It's cleared away. And as far as Pino picks the pass looking towards Mitchell. Great sliding challenge from Kusanov, and Savinho gets there first, plays the simple pass. Pep Guardiola would be delighted by that. And Kusanov's second half of this season, I think he's been fantastic for Man City. He's been unbelievable at the back, as we now see Foden across to Bernardo Silva. He plays one to the left hand side for Aït-Nouri. 37.5 minutes on the clock. It is Man City 1, Crystal Palace 0. Kusanov finds Bernardo Silva in towards Matt Guéhi again for Aït-Nouri. Forward ball into Semenyo is a good one. Semenyo skips his way into the penalty area, then he finds himself outside of it. Matt Guéhi across for Semenyo again. Now it's going to be with Guéhi. Finds Ryan Aït-Nouri. Aït-Nouri across to Matt Guéhi. Cuts onto his right boot. Finds Kusanov. Kusanov still driving forward. Savinho into Bernardo Silva, who's going to look to check it across towards the left-hand side. He finds Ryan Aït-Nouri. It's nice football this from Manchester City, but Crystal Palace still sat so deep at the moment. And Kusanov finds Matt Guéhi. Feels like it's almost a Matt Guéhi simulator in this one, where we just keep saying these names. I feel like if I say it more, I'm going to start floating as we see him towards the right-hand side. And it's going to be Savinho who brings it down, step over to try and get the better of Mitchell. Good defending in the end from the Englishman, and his clearance. He's only straight back to Man City, and they've just got no outlet at the moment, Palace.
No, they're sitting in very deep. They seem a bit scared. They need to be more brave on the ball when they are. Their best chance of defending is attacking for me, for Palace. Step out, be brave, don't sit so deep and be nervy about it. You know, you are 1-0 down now, so why not take a chance on it? They don't seem to be wanting to do that at the minute, because the more they sit in 1-0 down, the more damage it's going to become.
Yes, we now see Aït-Nouri finds Matt Guéhi, turns away from his man into Bernardo Silva. Heavy first touch, plays it all the way back for Kusanov, who's been pressed by Mateta. Finds Guéhi once more for Vardiol, who's going to drive forwards. Looks for a scoot pass into the penalty area. What a ball that is. Phil Foden across the face of goal for Marmouche, who goes for goal himself. And that's beautiful from Manchester City. And once again, Phil Foden is at the heart of it. And it's Marmouche with the finish. It is 2-0 to Man City. You think this game is all but done. And the message could be back to Arteta. You've got to do your job once again, because they're going to keep the pressure on until the final whistle.
Yeah, absolutely. Then we'll do absolutely that. Or they're going to push Arsenal all the way, and the smiles come out in City. They look a lot more relaxed. Now, 40 minutes on the clock, 2-0. It looks like it's, like you say, all but job done. Lovely work down the left-hand side. A scoop pass by Guardiola, very imaginative. I think Foden, is he trying to touch that down? He's trying to take that down for himself. Either way, he's played it to Marmouche behind him, but he swiveled on the shot into the left-hand side. Brilliant finish. Looks like Celtic have an equaliser at Motherwell.
Yeah, Celtic with a huge goal away at Motherwell. And this is a huge goal for Man City in their title race. And yeah, just that little pass from Phil Foden, little hook pass. Great turn from Marmouche, hitting it on the turn as well. He's such a hard technique. Puts it through the legs of two players and just ahead of the boot of Dean Henderson. And look at the celebrations from Guardiola. Could be a huge victory. And 3 points this for Man City. I guess the worry for Guardiola would have been, I'm going to take a gamble and risk key players today. It's paid off for now.
The thing is for City is that they have two 11s, two very first team 11s, don't they? So yes, a question mark, especially from me before the game. You know, 6 changes, taking your best lads out right on a a crunch time game. I don't think any disrespect to Crystal Palace. I just think because of the long season and the trust that Pep Guardiola has in this team. I mean, that 11 that's already out there now, there's a couple of first teams, of course, in there still, but you know, it's good enough to beat anyone on the day, isn't it? So I'm just watching Brennan Johnson start his run offside once again. That's a theme of play in this first half for Palace, but worry for them because already 2-0 down before half time. It does feel like a massive swing that the fact that goal didn't count. Brennan Johnson could have kept himself on side. We could have been looking at a different game.
Yeah, we certainly could have been. As we now see a ball going behind up towards Nunes, brings it down. Good first touch from him. Pina turns away from his man, and in the end it's going to be a free kick for a handball against Yeremy Pina. He can't believe the decision. Well, of course, Arsenal-Burnley is Monday Night Football at the weekend. So it's certainly a big one with Bournemouth Man City being the night after. As we now see Bernardo Silva, who finds Nunes. Driving forwards, finds Phil Foden. Back to Nunes again. And for Man City, is it just... Well, they're never really going to be this type of side to shut up shop. They don't need to because their players are that good. They could really go for the sword. Goal difference could be absolutely vital. And that's presumed, isn't it, in this title race. And Munoz could have maybe let that run out for a throw and ends up giving away a cheap corner.
Yeah, I don't think he knew what was behind him, so his safety net of just putting it into touch. A searching ball, and that wasn't really finding anyone. Looks like Rangers have an equaliser at home to Hibs, but it's absolutely relentless now for City, and I'm worrying for Palace because it may just be, oh, what a save that is from Dean Henderson.
Yeah, huge save in the end to deny it from being a third. It's now going to be Foden who touched it for himself. He thought about the volley, he plays it to Silva instead. He cuts inside, goes for goal, puts it over the bar in the end, but a big save from Dean Henderson, the Crystal Palace skipper, moments ago, just to deny that header from Josko Vardiol. And Crystal Palace have got to be careful because it could get ugly here.
Yeah, this is very worrying. Very worrying. I think they need to get in at half time, just 2 minutes plus additional. Get in at half time, regroup the lads and go again because it's not been good. What an unbelievable save that is from Henderson. Mid-height, good height for him, as everyone always says when it's at that sort of height, but to dive across like that on them reactions as well was absolutely huge for the Crystal Palace captain as well. But it's been Palace haven't been able to get out their own half for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, Phil Foden shoots from almost the halfway line, but he pings it off the head of Lequad. Dean Henderson's poor clearance allowed that, and what a touch that is. And his kick-ups, and he's having fun out there. Is Cervinho. The header goes out for a throw-in. That's it, isn't it, really, for Man City? They're having fun. Yeah. You can tell.
Yeah, absolutely. It's 2-0 up in the cruise control party football now. Cervinho's doing flick-ups like Thierry Henry. It's absolutely brilliant for Manchester City. It is men against boys at this point, unfortunately, for Palace, because they're not putting up enough of a fight. And they're just growing more and more out of this game. They go more and more out of this game, and Palace and City come more and more into it. But you like to think they're not out of it. If Palace score next, it'll get interesting.
Yeah, and here is Brennan Johnson on the counter-attack. He's quicker than Matt Gay. He's driving into the penalty. He looks for the layoff for Munoz. And Brennan Johnson, just a terrible pass once again. Not great from him at all. As we now see Aït-Nouri, who finds Bernardo Silva. Then it's going to be Gay. Great football from City. Good challenge in. And once again, Brennan Johnson's just not alert. He's not had a good half, has he?
He's not. He's really let his team down. He single-handedly cost Palace that first goal as well, and he didn't need to be that extra yard offside. He's quick enough when that ball came over. I keep reiterating about it, but it's a real waste. Aït-Nouri's holding his left knee here. Maybe something going on. But the ball inside, he didn't need to be that. He knows he needs to be in front of him as he makes that run diagonally to his left. He's put it across his man, which means he can't get to it. A really poor ball. He was hesitant on it as well. And while he's down, we're just going to look at the goals. That Phil Foden back here was something else, wasn't it? We said he wasn't really in the game, but brilliant. Something out of nothing. And then Semenyo to sweep at home. And like I say, it's cruise control time for Manchester City. Absolutely brilliant. I'll tell you a stat while the Man City man's down. Man City haven't lost on a Wednesday night Premier League game since May 2010. Can you believe it? 16 years they haven't lost a Premier League Wednesday night game. Of course, they play a lot of Champions League on a Wednesday nowadays. And they lost to the other London club in Spurs 1-0. Peter Crouch in the 82nd minute.
Yeah, that's terrifying for any horrific. For any teams who see them play against each other on a Wednesday. I certainly hope my team don't come up against them on a Wednesday next season. I guess, yeah, terrifying start for any side to play against them. But at that same stage, since 2010, Man City have been fantastic, haven't they? It feels. So we now see Ryan Aït-Nouri in possession. looks to play it towards Foden. It's easily cleared away by Canver off the hand of Aït-Nouri. How on earth has Aït-Nouri not been booked in this first half? But with that, half-time at the Etihad Stadium, thanks to a bit of brilliance from both goals from Phil Foden with 2 assists going into the break. It is Manchester City 2, Crystal Palace 0.
Half-time in Manchester between Manchester City and Crystal Palace, and City are getting the job done. If they didn't win tonight, it would have gone to Arsenal to win the trophy on Monday, but it took a slow start, but they got going. 32 on the clock. A Phil Foden backheel for Semenyo to sweep into the bottom left for his sixth goal in the Premier League this season, and then 5 from the break. Guardiola ball over Foden with the flick for his second assist of the night, and Marmoush to slam home on the left-hand side for the Egyptian. Half-time, it's Manchester City 2, Palace 0. Half-time in Manchester between Manchester City and Crystal Palace, and City are getting the job done. If they didn't win tonight, it would have gone to Arsenal to win the trophy on Monday, but it took a slow start, but they got going. 32 on the clock. A Phil Foden backheel for Semenyo to sweep into the bottom left for his sixth goal in the Premier League this season, and then 5 from the break. Guardiola ball over Foden with the flick for his second assist of the night, and Marmoush to slam home on the left-hand side for the Egyptian. Half-time, it's Manchester City 2, Palace 0. Half-time in Manchester between Manchester City and Crystal Palace, and City are getting the job done. If they didn't win tonight, it would have gone to Arsenal to win the trophy on Monday, but it took a slow start, but they got going. 32 on the clock. A Phil Foden backheel for Semenyo to sweep into the bottom left for his sixth goal in the Premier League this season, and then 5 from the break. Guardiola ball over Foden with the flick for his second assist of the night, and Marmoush to slam home on the left-hand side for the Egyptian. Half-time, it's Manchester City 2, Palace 0. Half-time in Manchester between Manchester City and Crystal Palace, and City are getting the job done. If they didn't win tonight, it would have gone to Arsenal to win the trophy on Monday, but it took a slow start, but they got going. 32 on the clock. A Phil Foden backheel for Semenyo to sweep into the bottom left for his sixth goal in the Premier League this season, and then 5 from the break. Guardiola ball over Foden with the flick for his second assist of the night, and Marmoush to slam home on the left-hand side for the Egyptian. Half-time, it's Manchester City 2, Palace 0. Half-time in Manchester between Manchester City and Crystal Palace, and City are getting the job done. If they didn't win tonight, it would have gone to Arsenal to win the trophy on Monday, but it took a slow start, but they got going. 32 on the clock. A Phil Foden backheel for Semenyo to sweep into the bottom left for his sixth goal in the Premier League this season, and then 5 from the break. Guardiola ball over Foden with the flick for his second assist of the night, and Marmoush to slam home on the left-hand side for the Egyptian. Half-time, it's Manchester City 2, Palace 0. Half-time in Manchester between Manchester City and Crystal Palace, and City are getting the job done. If they didn't win tonight, it would have gone to Arsenal to win the trophy on Monday, but it took a slow start, but they got going. 32 on the clock. A Phil Foden backheel for Semenyo to sweep into the bottom left for his sixth goal in the Premier League this season, and then 5 from the break. Guardiola ball over Foden with the flick for his second assist of the night, and Marmoush to slam home on the left-hand side for the Egyptian. Half-time, it's Manchester City 2, Palace 0. Half-time in Manchester between Manchester City and Crystal Palace, and City are getting the job done. If they didn't win tonight, it would have gone to Arsenal to win the trophy on Monday, but it took a slow start, but they got going. 32 on the clock. A Phil Foden backheel for Semenyo to sweep into the bottom left for his sixth goal in the Premier League this season, and then 5 from the break. Guardiola ball over Foden with the flick for his second assist of the night, and Marmoush to slam home on the left-hand side for the Egyptian. Half-time, it's Manchester City 2, Palace 0. Half-time in Manchester between Manchester City and Crystal Palace, and City are getting the job done. If they didn't win tonight, it would have gone to Arsenal to win the trophy on Monday, but it took a slow start, but they got going. 32 on the clock. A Phil Foden backheel for Semenyo to sweep into the bottom left for his sixth goal in the Premier League this season, and then 5 from the break. Guardiola ball over Foden with the flick for his second assist of the night, and Marmoush to slam home on the left-hand side for the Egyptian. Half-time, it's Manchester City 2, Palace 0. Half-time in Manchester between Manchester City and Crystal Palace, and City are getting the job done. If they didn't win tonight, it would have gone to Arsenal to win the trophy on Monday, but it took a slow start, but they got going. 32 on the clock. A Phil Foden backheel for Semenyo to sweep into the bottom left for his sixth goal in the Premier League this season, and then 5 from the break. Guardiola ball over Foden with the flick for his second assist of the night, and Marmoush to slam home on the left-hand side for the Egyptian. Half-time, it's Manchester City 2, Palace 0. Half-time in Manchester between Manchester City and Crystal Palace, and City are getting the job done. If they didn't win tonight, it would have gone to Arsenal to win the trophy on Monday, but it took a slow start, but they got going. 32 on the clock. A Phil Foden back heel for Semenyo to sweep into the bottom left for his sixth goal in the Premier League this season, and then 5 from the break. Guardiola ball over Foden with the flick for his second assist of the night, and Marmoush to slam home in the left-hand side for the Egyptian. Half-time, it's Manchester City 2, Palace 0. Half-time in Manchester between Manchester City and Crystal Palace, and City are getting the job done. If they didn't win tonight, it would have gone to Arsenal to win the trophy on Monday, but it took a slow start, but they got going. 32 on the clock. A Phil Foden back heel for Semenyo to sweep into the bottom left for his sixth goal in the Premier League this season, and then 5 from the break. Guardiola ball over Foden with the flick for his second assist of the night, and Marmoush to slam home in the left-hand side for the Egyptian. Half-time, it's Manchester City 2, Palace 0. Half-time in Manchester between Manchester City and Crystal Palace, and City are getting the job done. If they didn't win tonight, it would have gone to Arsenal to win the trophy on Monday, but it took a slow start, but they got going. 32 on the clock. A Phil Foden back heel for Semenyo to sweep into the bottom left for his sixth goal in the Premier League this season, and then 5 from the break. Guardiola ball over Foden with the flick for his second assist of the night, and Marmoush to slam home in the left-hand side for the Egyptian. Half-time, it's Manchester City 2, Palace 0. Half-time in Manchester between Manchester City and Crystal Palace, and City are getting the job done. If they didn't win tonight, it would have gone to Arsenal to win the trophy on Monday, but it took a slow start, but they got going. 32 on the clock. A Phil Foden back heel for Semenyo to sweep into the bottom left for his sixth goal in the Premier League this season, and then 5 from the break. Guardiola ball over Foden with the flick for his second assist of the night, and Marmoush to slam home in the left-hand side for the Egyptian. Half-time, it's Manchester City 2, Palace 0. Half-time in Manchester between Manchester City and Crystal Palace, and City are getting the job done. If they didn't win tonight, it would have gone to Arsenal to win the trophy on Monday, but it took a slow start, but they got going. 32 on the clock. A Phil Foden back heel for Semenyo to sweep into the bottom left for his sixth goal in the Premier League this season, and then 5 from the break. Guardiola ball over Foden with the flick for his second assist of the night, and Marmoush to slam home in the left-hand side for the Egyptian. Half-time, it's Manchester City 2, Palace 0. Half-time in Manchester between Manchester City and Crystal Palace, and City are getting the job done. If they didn't win tonight, it would have gone to Arsenal to win the trophy on Monday, but it took a slow start, but they got going. 32 on the clock. A Phil Foden back heel for Semenyo to sweep into the bottom left for his sixth goal in the Premier League this season, and then 5 from the break. Guardiola ball over Foden with the flick for his second assist of the night, and Marmoush to slam home in the left-hand side for the Egyptian. Half-time, it's Manchester City 2, Palace 0. Half-time in Manchester between Manchester City and Crystal Palace, and City are getting.
He's in plenty of space here. Gehi getting this one clear. Reinders. And it's played forward. Munoz gets over and intercepts. Half an hour played now. And here's Haaland. Shot a goal! And he's following up! Decent enough try.
Well, there wasn't too much wrong with his effort. He needs to get on the ball again and give it another crack. I would.
Well, now here's a good battle, bicep to bicep. Hughes. Munoz. Now it's Haaland. Haaland played out towards the right wing. He's through here. Reinders. Reinders tries across. It's a lovely neat pass. Brilliantly cut out. Lewis forwards and with intent. Pinged towards the front line. He's going to be disappointed with that. And it's Munoz. Mateta played with finesse.
Oh, he'd have done well to reach that.
Ruben Dias. Ruben Dias. Jim Clidon. Sarr. He can get that clear. And reclaimed it in a trice. That's really well manoeuvred. Reinders. Coming up to half-time, leading, and things are looking pretty good. Bernardo Silva. Marmoush. Ignori. And it's Bernardo Silva. Lewis. Now it's Reinders. Rodri. Cherki. Rodri. That is lovely. Danger averted. The action has already started. Jim, who do you pick out as the telling individual today?
Well, this fellow, Mateta, merits a mention. Okay, he's not going to go full pelt down the flank, but if you put him in a system where he's well supported, allowing him to do his little link-ups and those quick bursts inside the box, and he can be incredibly effective. He has proven himself capable in one-on-ones as well, which often gets him into those smart positions.
Yes, he'd be my pick too. It's going to be all about how they get the best out of him. Bernardo Silva. Marmoush. And here's Bernardo Silva. Now that's well seen too. Sarr. And now the breakaway. Mateta. Nice defending, physical and effective. Reinders. Haaland. Oh, good take in a good area.
Lacroix? Well, that tackle was immense, and so was the relief. The great escape.
Munoz. That's really well manoeuvred. And it's Hughes. Munoz. Oh, good spread. Ah, such a clever touch. Wharton. Played out to the right. Haaland. Lacroix makes the interception. Lacroix, Jim Clidon. Always onto this. Oh, what a real chance!
Clearly looking to use the space out the flanks here.
With a view to what exactly, Jim?
Well, it can encourage the fullbacks to get involved and increase their chances of more service into the box.
Bernardo Silva, and he goes cross-field. Cherki. Aimed in towards the centre. Richards gets it away. That's a throw. Mateta. Wharton played out to the left flank. Now it's Wharton. And it's Mitchell. Mitchell. Very nicely done. Now it's Sarr. Now they can break here. Great defending, strong and determined. Hughes. Out to the left it goes. A chance to play it in. Over to the left. Oh, what a climb! That's going to go a long way. Bernardo Silva. Marmoush. So just one early goal to report so far. 1-0 the score. Cherki. Reinders. Pressing's intense and it's paid off. Doucouré shifted upfield. Donnarumma, long ball by the goalkeeper. Wins the duel this time. Cherki. Reinders. He's in a great position. Haaland!
Haaland really needed to concentrate on protecting the ball. Then again, he was being very closely marshalled.
Ruben Dias. Bernardo Silva. Spread out to the left. Munoz. Up towards the front line. Defending was strong and firm. Marmoush. And that has gone horribly wrong. Rodri gets across to Inter. This is gone, that's a foul. Keeper's got good distance on that. Wharton. And it's Wharton. Rodri does well to get it back. Looking to break at pace. Lacroix. It's a shot.
Well, that was well positioned and well pinched. They can't hurt with their backs to goal.
Reinders. Guéhi driven forward. Lerma, aim forwards, and here's the chance to counter, and it's Mitchell. Wharton. Oh, that's well done, really robust. And that defending is unapologetically persistent, it's almost personal, and it had to be. He's in plenty of space here. Guéhi getting this one clear. Reinders. And it's played forward. Munoz gets over and intercepts. Half an hour played now. And here's Haaland. And he's following up! Decent enough try.
Well, there wasn't too much wrong with his effort. He needs to get on the ball again and give it another crack. I would.
Well, now here's a good battle, bicep to bicep. Hughes. Munoz. Now it's Haaland. Haaland played out towards the right wing. He's through here. Reinders tries across. lovely, neat pass. Brilliantly cut out. Lewis forwards and with intent. Pinged towards the front line. He's going to be disappointed with that. And it's Munoz. Mateta played with finesse. Oh, he'd have done well to reach that. Ruben Diaz, gently done. Sarr. He can get that clear and reclaimed it in a trice. That's really well manoeuvred. Reinders. Coming up to half-time, leading, and things are looking pretty good. Bernardo Silva. Marmouche. It's Glory. And it's Bernardo Silva. Lewis. Now it's Reinders. Rodri. Cherki. Rodri. That is lovely. Danger averted. The action has already started. Jim, who do you pick out as the telling individual today?
Well, this fella, Mateta, merits a mention. Okay, he's not going to go full pelt down the flank, but if you put him in a system where he's well supported, allowing him to do his little link-ups and those quick bursts inside the box, and he can be incredibly effective. He has proven himself capable in one-on-ones as well, which often gets him into those smart positions.
Yes, he'd be my pick too. It's going to be all about how they get the best out of him.
It wasn't Franco himself who left that comment, was it?
10% for defending champions. That was such a great insult for Barca, says Gloria. Dartman says, we have so many underrated players. Dean still gets my value over Pau. Dean Hausen, I guess.
Yeah.
It feels like sometimes. It feels like it's a joke. Well, I mean, Kubas had a ridiculous second half of the season. Right, Felix Official says option 3. Alia says option 1, 2, 3, Amirati. And the people say that they are liking the way the Barca are playing.
Okay. I mean, and rightly so, to be fair. I think we're coming up towards half-time here. We're solid, we're comfortable. It is going to be 0-0 again at half-time in it, which has been a decent theme. Same as Osasuna.
Well, I mean, it may not be. I mean, here we go. I'll ask the question.
Go on, summon it. Summon the goal.
I'm going to summon it.
Nice and fierce in there. Castellos should win that back. That's already gone out as well.
Question after question here.
Tenaglia was fierce there. There's a Quique Sanchez Flores who came into the club in March to try and turn the situation around. Eduardo Coudet was the coach, of course, before. And so far he's not been quite able to dig them out of the hole.
No. They've had some frustrating ones, I think. Taking the lead in some games, but then either giving up the draw or even losing. It's a difficult season. They normally say that to stay up or to avoid relegation in the Spanish league, you need 42 points.
Yeah.
They need a bit more than that this year.
It's a little bit tight down there for 42, I'd say. Well, you consider most of those teams around there are already on 42 now.
Yeah.
By the way, what will the score be at half-time? 0-0, 1-0 Barca, 2-0 Barca.
Right.
I'm going to go 1-0 Barca. Let's believe in a goal.
Yeah, I'll take a goal.
So let's summon it.
You know, when we grabbed one away to Getafe the other, and against when we got one against Celta as well the other week. I'll take that.
Make it happen with some blue and red hearts. Oh.
A flick cam with hearts. Look
Flick
at that.
cam with hearts. Wow. I mean, that was simultaneous. There we go. Look at the timing of that.
Ooh,
that's it. Ooh. There you go. I actually thought, oh, have they changed the transition?
I thought, what am I looking at?
We pressed the button at the same time.
Yeah,
there you
exactly.
Go. Oh, we love Hansi Flick.
Yeah, actually, there it is. Actually, look quite nice.
Felix Official says, I can't wait for the World Cup. Well, you're in New York, so you'll get to see most of the games in the daytime. For us, it's nighttime.
Yeah, I'm not in World Cup mode yet, you know, guys. I was thinking about this. I think I was earlier today. I was thinking, I ought to be getting in World Cup mode soon, and I'm still in season mode. I think, like club football mode.
I'm in 100 points in La Liga mode.
Yeah.
If we don't win the 3 points, I don't know what my mode is going to be. Ice cream mode might be the mode on Sunday.
All home wins, I'm guessing, we'll go for then, right?
That's a good one.
That's the Sunday goal.
Never been done in the 20-team La Liga. 19 wins out of 19 at home. Never been done. Which is fascinating, by the way, because we've had some great Pep Guardiola teams, the Luis Enrique teams, Rijkaard, the 100 points with Tito Villanova. You've had some obviously amazing seasons for Real Madrid as well.
But to win all 19 at home is something like. Barca are close now. And remember, Barca, nothing to play for, are up against Betis, who have nothing to play for. So, could be intriguing.
And Tech makes a save here. By the way, it has been confirmed. Was it today that it's been confirmed that the time of that game is finished, by the way? If you had it noted down that Barca Betis was Sunday at 7 p.m. local time here in Barcelona, that has changed.
Yep.
It changed today. And that game is now at 9:15 local time here. So
yeah, there you go, people. Note it down, because we need you here. So Rory, that means we'll be going live at
8:45,
8:45.
Yeah. Late Sunday kickoff.
It's a new start time for us. I can't remember many 9:15s.
9:15s never. No. We've had 8:45s before in the Champions League.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of 9s, some 9:30s this season that we're always thankful for.
We've had the honour of Celta Wednesday 9:30 and Alaves Wednesday 9:30.
Yeah,
twice in about 3 or 4 weeks, which we are delighted about.
And we. I can't remember this season, obviously, because you did the Copas. Have we had a 10 o'clocker this season? Because in the past there have been some 10 o'clockers.
The cup final last season was a 10 o'clock.
Oh, there you go. That's it. Yeah.
And it went to extra time, of course. I think I remember getting in at about 4 a.m. that night.
Yeah. With all the celebrations.
Exactly. Yeah. Great night though.
Oh, amazing.
I think for me that's the moment of the Flick era. I think for me.
The extra time.
I think. Do you know what I mean? In terms of most special, most memorable, I think when I look back at it, I'm like, wow.
Go Rooney.
I think I got a deflection on it, that cross. Koundé was on the overlap, almost trying to snatch up the loose ball. Tony Martinez is up there, but he's pretty much on his own, so he's going to try and take on Kouarsi here. He's done a decent job of making up some ground, although you don't usually get around Kouarsi, and he won't go on that occasion either.
I like what Rooney and Koundé have going there on the right flank, with Koundé doing the overlap and Rooney being able to mix it up a little bit. He's gone for the cut to the left and cross maybe a couple too many times, but he's always got that Koundé option.
It is nice, it is nice, and they're linking up quite well. I remember Eric and Koundé both joking with each other that they were tired of making the overlapping run with Lamine Yamal because he always cut inside anyway. But with Rooney, Koundé's been slipped in a few times and he's had the chance to dink in a few crosses himself.
Thing is, obviously they're joking, and it can be frustrating sometimes when you make the big effort to sprint, do the overlap, but Lamine needs it.
Yeah.
Even if he goes in every time, even if he cuts in every time, he needs it to distract the attention of one of the defenders.
100%, 100%. I think, and Lamine is so strong coming onto his left foot that it's almost like it's a way out for Barca. It's a way in, So I think the fullbacks are happy to do it. They really are. Here is Denis Suarez here. That's a decent bursting run here, by the way, and another Alaves corner. to end the first half, and their fans just showing some encouragement there. By the way, credit to all the Barca supporters who've turned up today.
Credit, yeah, to the 2,500 that we've got watching. Not the 25,000 we had the other day. I did try to get them to join today, unsuccessfully. By the way, 1 minute of added time. Un minuto of aggregate. So let's add it on here.
And that, which means that this will probably be the last action. So if Barca can survive this, they might be able to get into half-time at 0-0. Although they haven't survived. Diabate has scored for Alaves. They've barely had anything going forward, by the way. And what a massive goal in their season. Look at the celebrations on the bench.
Yeah.
And understandably so. Because Alaves, with that goal, fire themselves out of the relegation zone. And into safety. And a bit of a frustrating one for Barca, really. He will feel with all the work they've done this half, they didn't deserve that.
No, not at all. Not at all. I mean, I feel like this is a very unfair result. Right now at half-time. If Barca had come out here and just gone through the motions and then conceded late in the half, then fair enough. But here, Barca have had some clear opportunities, have played attacking football. And, yeah, Alaves managed to get ahead right before half-time, which will be a super boost for them. Because they haven't offered much. Tech had made a couple of saves on easier shots off of the set piece. They take the lead, and it's half-time, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, credit Ibrahim there, because he's actually really strong. It's not the easiest to finish.
No. Bernal has him.
Yeah, he has to hold off Bernal quite a lot. He has to use an awful lot of upper body strength there. And he produces a decent little finish with it too. Just frustrating for Barca, though. Frustrating indeed, because we'll feel that wasn't... I'm not sure if it's necessary, or we'll feel that wasn't really needed, you know, as... a few players have stayed up to warm up, by the way. People I'm seeing Pedri, I'm seeing Ferran, Espart, Christensen. But yeah, Robert, half-time, 1-0 Alaves. I mean, the result, I mean, it's not the most important thing today. Of course, we want to win for the 100 points, don't we? We want to make sure we
do.
We get the win, you know, and I think Hansi Flick will think that his team has done more than enough, but there you go, 1-0 Alaves.
It's a weird one to analyse this, because, I mean... As I said, being the league champions, having had the parade on Monday, you could have expected a light version of Barca, going out there to try and get the job done, but not taking too many risks. And that was not the case. Not the case. We saw an inspired Barca early. Barca trying to attack initially through Rashford, then tried more down the right flank with Rooney and Koundé. No shots on target, but they've had some clear opportunities, mainly Rashford's, I would say. I think Olmos played very well in the first half as well. I think we defended well as well. And then it's a set-piece opportunity. You said it, Pablo. The first half may end here, and it did. It ended there, but with an Alaves goal.
Exactly, yeah. Exactly. I said if Barca can survive this, they'll get in at half-time 0-0. They didn't. They couldn't survive it. And Alaves, I think, will feel that sort of situation was a good way in for them this evening. It's good news for them as well, because Getafe are beating Mallorca.
There you go.
So it's been a good evening so far for Alaves, other than the fact that, of course, Sevilla and Espanyol won earlier. But they're doing their job for now, which makes it intriguing.
Where does this goal put them, by the way, in the
take a look. Let's have a look.
It's bad news for Girona, this.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Look at Alaves jumping up to 15th with that goal.
Yeah, and Levante got a huge win last night away to Celta. Back in there at 18th. I mean, it just keeps on ebbing and flowing. The only thing I would say, Robert, is with being a goal down, I think Alaves are going to sit even deeper, by the way, right now. I think they're just going to shut up shop here. They've barely shown much ambition going forward as it is, and I think being a goal up, why would they come out even more, really? More than they have been already. What it does mean, of course, for Barca is, will we have a little bit more impetus to go and find that? Is this going to be a Barca who fight to
Munoz. That's really... And it's Hughes. Munoz. Oh, good spread. Oh, such a clever touch. Wharton.
Played out to the right. Haaland. Lacroix makes the interception. Lacroix, gently done. Always onto this. Oh, what a real chance!
Are clearly looking to use the space at the flanks here.
With a view to what exactly, Jim?
Well, it can encourage the fullbacks to get involved and increase their chances of more service into the box.
Bernardo Silva, and he goes cross-field. Cherki. Aimed in towards the centre. Richards gets it away. That's a throw. Arteta. Wharton played out to the left flank. Alex Wharton. Alex Mitchell. Mitchell. Very nicely done. Now it's Sarr. Well, they could break here. Great defending, strong and determined. Hughes. Out to the left it goes. A chance to play it in. Over to the left. Oh, what a climb! That's going to go a long way. Bernardo Silva. Marmoush. So just the one early goal to report so far. 1-0 the score. Cherki. Reinders. Pressing's intense and it's paid off. Doucouré shifted upfield. Donnarumma, long ball by the goalkeeper. Wins the duel this time. Cherki. Reinders. He's in a great position. Haaland!
Haaland really needed to concentrate on protecting the ball. Then again, he was being very closely marshalled.
Ruben Dias. Bernardo Silva. Spread out to the left. Munoz. Up towards the front line. Defending was strong and firm. Marmoush. And that has gone horribly wrong. Rodri gets across to Inter. This is gone, that's a foul. Keeper's got good distance on that. Wharton. And it's Wharton. Rodri does well to get it back. Looking to break at pace. Lacroix. Lacroix. It's a
Well, that was well positioned and well pinched. They can't hurt with their backs to go.
Reinders. Guéhi driven forward. Lerma. Aim forwards. And here's the chance to counter. And it's Mitchell. Wharton. Oh, that's well done, really robust. Well, that defending is unapologetically persistent. It's almost personal, and it had to be. He's in plenty of space here. Gahey getting this one clear. Reinders. And it's played forward. Munoz gets over and intercepts. Half an hour played now. And here's Haaland. Shot a goal! And he's following up! Decent enough try.
Well, there wasn't too much wrong with his effort. He needs to get on the ball again and give it another crack. I would.
Well, now here's a good battle, bicep to bicep. Hughes. Munoz. Now it's Haaland. Haaland played out towards the right wing. He's through here. Reinders. Reinders tries across. It's a lovely, neat pass. Brilliantly cut out. Lewis forwards and with intent. Pinged towards the front line. He's going to be disappointed with that. And it's Munoz. Mateta played with finesse. Oh, he'd have done well to reach that. Ruben Dias. Ruben Dias, gently done. Sarr. He can get that clear. And reclaimed it in a trice. That's really well manoeuvred. Reinders. Coming up to half-time, leading, and things are looking pretty good. Bernardo Silva. Marmoush. Ignori. And it's Bernardo Silva. Lewis. Now it's Reinders. Rodri. Cherki. Rodri. That is lovely. Danger averted. The action has already started. Jim, who do you pick out as the telling individual today?
Well, this fellow, Mateta, merits a mention. Okay, he's not going to go full pelt down the flank, but if you put him in a system where he's well supported, allowing him to do his little link-ups and those quick bursts inside the box, and he can be incredibly effective. He has proven himself capable in one-on-ones as well, which often gets him into those smart positions.
Yes, he'd be my pick too. It's going to be all about how they get the best out of him. Bernardo Silva. Marmoush. And here's Bernardo Silva. Now that's well seen too. Sarr. And now the breakaway. Mateta. Nice defending, physical and effective. Reinders, Haaland.
Oh, good take in a good area. Lacroix. Well, that tackle was immense, and so was the relief. The great escape.
Munoz. That's really well manoeuvred. And it's Hughes. Munoz. Oh, good spread. Oh, such a clever touch. Wharton. Played out to the right. Haaland. Lacroix makes the interception. Lacroix, gently done. Always onto this. Oh, what a real chance!
Are clearly looking to use the space on the flanks here.
With a view to what exactly, Jim?
Well, it can encourage the fullbacks to get involved and increase their chances of more service into the box.
Bernardo Silva, and he goes cross-field. Cherki. Aimed in towards the centre. Richards gets it away. That's a throw. Arteta. Wharton played out to the left flank. Now it's Wharton. And it's Mitchell. Mitchell. Very nicely done. Now it's Sarr. Now they could break here. Great defending, strong and determined. Hughes. Out to the left it goes. A chance to play it in. Over to the left. Oh, what a climb! That's going to go a long way. Bernardo Silva. Marmouche. So just one early goal to report so far. 1-0 the score. Cherki. Reinders. Pressing's intense and it's paid off. Doucouré shifted upfield. Donnarumma, long ball by the goalkeeper. Wins the duel this time. Cherki. Reinders. He's in a great position. Haaland!
Haaland really needed to concentrate on protecting the ball. Then again, he was being very closely marshalled.
Ruben Dias. Bernardo Silva. Spread out to the left. Munoz. Up towards the front line. Defending was strong and firm. Marmouche. And that has gone horribly wrong. Rodri gets across to Inter. This is gone, that's a foul. Keeper's got good distance on that. Wharton. And it's Wharton. Rodri does well to get it back. Looking to break at pace. Lacroix, it's a
Well, that was well positioned and well pinched. They can't hurt with their backs to goal.
Reinders. Gehi driven forward. Lerma. Aim forwards. And here's the chance to counter. And it's Mitchell. Wharton. Oh, that's well done, really robust. That defending is unapologetically persistent. It's almost personal, and it had to be. He's in plenty of space here. Gehi getting this one clear. Reinders. And it's played forward. Munoz gets over and intercepts. Half an hour played now. And here's Haaland. Shot a goal! And he's following up! Decent enough try.
Well, there wasn't too much wrong with his effort. He needs to get on the ball again and give it another crack. I would.
Well, now here's a good battle, bicep to bicep. Hughes. Munoz. Now it's Haaland. Haaland played out towards the right wing. He's through here. Reinders tries across. That's a lovely, neat pass. Brilliantly cut out. Lewis forwards with intent. Pinged towards the front line. He's going to be disappointed with that. And it's Munoz. Mateta played with finesse. Oh, he'd have done well to reach that. Ruben Diaz, gently done. Sarr. He can get that clear and reclaimed it in a trice. That's really well manoeuvred. Reinders. Coming up to half-time, leading, and things are looking pretty good. Bernardo Silva. Marmouche. Glory. And it's Bernardo Silva. Lewis. Now it's Reinders. Rodri. Cherki. Rodri. That is lovely. Danger averted. The action has already started. Jim, who do you pick out as the telling individual today?
Well, this fellow, Mateta, merits a mention. Okay, he's not going to go full pelt down the flank, But if you put him in a system where he's well supported, allowing him to do his little link-ups and those quick bursts inside the box, and he can be incredibly effective. He has proven himself capable in one-on-ones as well, which often gets him into those smart positions.
Yes, he'd be my pick too. It's going to be all about how they get the best out of him. Bernardo Silva. Marmoush. And here's Bernardo Silva. Now that's well seen too. Sarr. And now the breakaway. Arteta. Nice defending, physical and effective. Reinders. Haaland.
Oh, good take in a good area. Lacroix. Well, that tackle was immense, and so was the relief. The great escape.
Munoz. That's really well manoeuvred. And it's Hughes. Munoz. Oh, good spread. Oh, such a clever touch. Wharton. Played out to the right. Haaland. Lacroix makes the interception. Lacroix, gently done. Always onto this. Oh, what a filial chance!
Clearly looking to use the space on the flanks here.
With a view to what exactly, Jim?
Well, it can encourage the full-backs to get involved and increase their chances of more service into the box.
Bernardo Silva, and he goes cross-field. Cherki. Aimed in towards the centre. Richards gets it away. That's a throw. Arteta. Wharton played out to the left flank. Now it's Wharton. And it's Mitchell. Mitchell. Very nicely done. Now it's Sarr. Now they can break here. Great defending, strong and determined. Hughes. Out to the left it goes. A chance to play it in. Over to the left. Oh, what a climb! That's going to go a long way. Bernardo Silva. Marmoush. So just the one early goal to report so far. 1-0 the score. Cherki. Reinders. Pressing's intense and it's paid off. Doucouré shifted upfield. Donnarumma, long ball by the goalkeeper. Wins the duel this time. Cherki. Reinders. He's in a great position. Haaland!
Haaland really needed to concentrate on protecting the ball. Then again, he was being very closely marshalled.
Ruben Dias. Bernardo Silva. Spread out to the left. Munoz. Up towards the front line. Defending was strong and firm. gone horribly wrong. Rodri gets across to Inter. Whistle's gone, that's a foul. Keeper's got good distance on that. Wharton. And it's Wharton. Rodri does well to get it back. Looking to break at pace. Lacroix, it's a shot.
Well, that was well positioned and well pinched. They can't hurt with their backs to go.
Reinders. Gehi driven forward. Lerma, aim forwards, and here's the chance to counter, and it's Mitchell. Wharton. Oh, that's well done, really robust. Well, that defending is unapologetically persistent, it's almost personal, and it had to be. He's in plenty of space here. Gehi getting this one clear. Reinders. And it's played forward. Munoz gets over and intercepts. Half an hour played now. And here's Haaland. And he's following up!
Decent enough try. Well, there wasn't too much wrong with his effort. He needs to get on the ball again and give it another crack. I would.
Well, now here's a good battle, bicep to bicep. Hughes. Munoz. Now it's Haaland. Haaland played out towards the right wing. He's through here. Reinders. Reinders tries across. That's a lovely, neat pass. Brilliantly cut out. Lewis forwards with intent. Ping towards the front line. He's going to be disappointed with that. And it's Munoz. Mateta played with finesse.
Oh, he'd have done well to reach that.
Ruben Dias, gently done. Sarr. He can get that clear and reclaimed it in a trice. That's really well manoeuvred. Reinders. Coming up to half-time, leading, and things are looking pretty good. Bernardo Silva. Marmouche. With Glory. And it's Bernardo Silva. Lewis. Now it's Reinders. Rodri. Cherki. Rodri. That is lovely. Danger averted. The action has already started. Jim, who do you pick out as the telling individual today?
Well, this fellow, Mateta, merits a mention. Okay, he's not going to go full pelt down the flank, but if you put him in a system where he's well supported, allowing him to do his little link-ups and those quick bursts inside the box, and he can be incredibly effective. He has proven himself capable in one-on-ones as well, which often gets him into those smart positions.
Yes, he'd be my pick too. It's going to be all about how they get the best out of him. Bernardo Silva. Marmoush. And here's Bernardo Silva. Now that's well seen too. Sarr. And now the breakaway. Arteta. Nice defending, physical and effective. Reinders. Haaland.
Oh, good take in a good area. Lacroix. Well, that tackle was immense, and so was the relief. The great escape.
Munoz. That's really well manoeuvred. And it's Hughes. Munoz. Oh, good spread. Oh, such a clever touch. Wharton.